Good morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome to the show on a Friday morning. It's the end of the week, which is good news for everybody, of course. And we're here with the show this morning as well. I'm Amaya, and I have with me Banu.
Good morning, world, and good morning, Sri Lanka, and good morning, Amaya.
Hello, Banu. How are you?
You look very pretty today. You know?
Thank you very much. You're looking very smart yourself.
Thank you.
So it's a good morning. It's a great Friday, and if my mother didn't wake me up in the morning to be here for the show,
you wouldn't.
Then I wouldn't be here on time to be in front of the camera. So mothers are a very important part of everybody's lives, and we all depend on a mother or even a mother-like figure to guide us in our lives and to really help us out when the tough times come about and we need someone to depend on. And that's especially true when we are in our small age, when we are teens and even pre-teens. But even now, when we are supposedly adults, we still run to our mummies when there's a problem. Isn't that right, Banu?
Absolutely, I always do that. Especially when I was a toddler and right up until the first 20 years of my life. I've been like that. Still do, a mommy's boy. Not in the bad terms though. Still kind of maintain a good rapport and relationship with your mother. And I think everyone should, irrespective of gender, should have that kind of relationship.
Definitely.
And we do have a specific theme where we could relate more on that field, right? Amaya, do the honors.
Definitely. So we are going to speak to you today about a very important issue that's there in Sri Lanka, which is infant as well as maternal mortality rate here in Sri Lanka, and the steps that Sri Lanka has taken to reduce this. I mean, I think our country is now considered a model country in the developing world when it comes to this issue, this particular segment of healthcare. But to speak to us more about that, as well as a very special event that's happening to really raise the standards of Sri Lanka to an even higher level, we have with us Professor Hemantha Senanayaka, who is the president of the Sri Lanka College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Good morning,
Good
Doctor.
morning, Amaya. Good
Welcome
morning.
to the show.
Thanks for having me on the show.
It's great to have you here this morning. And we also have with us a person I'm very excited to have in the studio with me. This is the first time I'm seeing him off the TV screen, and he is Romesh Kaluvitarana, who is a Sri Lankan cricketing legend.
Do you hear the pop rate?
I do. It's like he brings it along with him and the
exactly.
mood into the studio.
I literally heard it, when I was coming here.
I know. Very excited to have you here, Ramesh, this morning.
Thank you, Amaya.
Good morning.
Good morning to
Are you usually a morning person? Now, when you had training?
very much a morning person, actually.
Okay.
How's the morning been so far for you?
Fantastic. For me, I always look
And
for
for you,
the day.
Professor?
For me, to partner Romesh Kaluvitarana, you can't get a better morning than that, I think. Thanks very much for having the two of us on the show.
Thank you for that, Doctor.
Alright, so you're here to speak to us today about a very special event that the college has organized. Let's speak about that first, Doctor. We'll touch on that and then go into the issue behind it.
Thank you. And I'm here to talk about a very special thing and then a special event, which is, I think, a unique event. And we are organizing a fashion show, and we are obstetricians, and we have 18 Sri Lanka cricketers walking the ramp for us because they think the thing they're going to do is worth the while. It's and I've talked to some of these people, and it's somewhat outside their comfort zone, but they're still walking the ramp for us because they think it's worth it. We are on a mission to reduce the number of women who die at childbirth. Like Amaya said, you started off by saying we are an example for the rest of the developing countries, and you're spot on with that. And but we want to be better.
Okay.
I have a graphic somewhere that we've shown. Over the years, we've really been
We'll
on
try
a
and pull
downward.
up that graphic now, but you go on speaking, Doctor.
Yes. And we've really been sort of
There we go.
grinding it down to the ground. That's historically what we have achieved, and it's at the moment we are in a difficult part of this curve, because when we have kind of reached this very slow decline, and then now it's a time for us to think outside the box and do something else to bring down the maternal mortality rate further.
So the concept of the event correlates
very much with that, and to say, you said we are an example. One way in which we are an example is we investigate every maternal death that happens in this country. And be it Jaffna or anywhere else, or the south or the west or wherever it is, in the biggest hospitals, the smallest hospitals, it's subjected to a very thorough investigation. We've learned a lot of things from this. And one of the things we learn is that many mothers die due to preventable causes. This is not because people lack knowledge about how to manage situations. It's because, say, there is an emergency and there is lack of coordination in what is being done. So therein lies a need for us to bring in a more specialized kind of training for our staff. So we are on a mission to reduce this maternal mortality rate, and this part of it we are trying to do by building a state-of-the-art simulation and training center. When you say simulation, now we want to equip it with the best possible equipment.
Okay.
And some of these mannequins, which are electronically controlled, can enact any emergency that can happen. You know, some of these mannequins, you can make them have a fit. Today I was talking to an American lady, and she's a nurse, and then she was saying when she underwent some of these trainings, there was a person who was supposedly brought in after an accident, and the person was, you know, restless and thrashing about. You can do all those things with these mannequins. So we want to have a state-of-the-art training center, and that's why we are raising funds for it.
I think it's a long-term vision as well, right? I mean, to
Yes.
know and be aware of the fact that we are in that zone of a great developing nation, and then to go global to the level where once they say that you're actually one of those countries who focuses on this issue amongst developed nations. So good luck to both of you on behalf of Good Morning Sri Lanka to begin the show right here, on all the best with it. So Ramesh, how is your involvement in this? And I know that you are very excited about it, bearing in mind that this is the first ramp that you're taking on.
Yeah, when doctor called me and explained about SLCOG, I raised my hand without any hesitation, because I think it's a good cause. It's high time we actually, as one nation, stand up and help the mothers, because it gives so much for the kid. I mean, well, when I was a kid, so much I was depending on my mother. If my mother wasn't there, it would have been a different life for me. So in this amazing organization will help these mothers to sort of be in a sort of a comfort zone, because 9 months is a long time, and to be in a comfort zone when they are looked better in their sort of in lifestyle.
Definitely.
And I think
and have people who are confident
around you, and gives more confidence for the mother to live up a better life. So this is amazing. So I'm all with the doctor's idea, and we'll give everything what we can do, and we'll
so are you
wish them all the very best.
so this is it's a great fundraiser, and I'm sure you're very happy to be a part of it, but you're going to be walking the ramp now and modeling fashions for some really famous designers who are big names in Sri Lanka. We'll be getting to them very soon as well. So
No
how do
doubt.
you feel about that? We're practicing in front of a mirror now.
Beginning to start it, because it's the first time for me, but I think it's a good cause.
Definitely.
And it will definitely hopefully it will
Make a difference.
for all the mothers in Sri Lanka.
So
All
great
right.
thought
So
there.
about the tickets and how the event is lined up, if you could just tell us about it.
The event is happening day after tomorrow, 24th, the Sunday, at the Galadari Hotel.
Okay.
So the event opens softly with some music and cocktails at 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
And then the show proper will start at 7:30 p.m. And like I said before, we have 18 of the people who have played cricket for Sri Lanka. I mean, it's the who's who there. We are very privileged to have them, and I'm so glad that we have a bunch of people who done so much for the country, and they are doing more. And like I said, you know, it takes a lot to do this, I think, and I think I'm so glad they're doing it.
And I think it's a wake-up call as well for everyone out there, when celebrity endorsers and opinion leaders and, you know, people who are respected and loved by a lot of the majority of Sri Lankans do something like this for a good cause, Amaya. Don't you agree?
Definitely. So let's tease our audience a little bit, Doctor, and give out some of the other names as well of the players who'll be walking. Not everybody, just a few.
And then the surprises which are coming up as well, yeah?
Definitely.
I think I'll keep the surprises to the end.
But tease
Okay.
us. As
Okay.
With some of the names of the players.
Okay, it's Friday morning. We have to do it. So we have. I'll start off with the youngsters. Chamara Kapugedra. I think one of the youngest ones is Jehan Mubarak, Ajanta Mendis, Jeevan Mendis, Sachitra Senanayake. He must be one of the youngest guys.
Yeah.
So Kumar Sangakkara, Angelo Matthews,
Wow.
Chaminda Vaz. I told you I was going to tease you.
Yeah.
Very much.
Sanat Jayasuriya.
I'm sure all
He's
the
going to walk the
viewers are
ramp
now.
as well.
Is it?
Yes.
Where can we see all our favorite players on the ramp at the same time? And again, it's just not for entertainment, it's just not for to have a great evening, a once in a lifetime thing, but it's also for a good cause at the end of the day.
That's the bottom line. All the way, it does appear really heavenly and great to see, a lot of the cricketing legends that you really fell in love with when you were a teenager perhaps, and then to see the young cricketers coming as well. But we almost forget the fact that this is actually for a good cause, as you've rightly pointed out. So,
So speaking about the need for the training and simulation center, Professor, let's talk about the incidence of maternal mortality in Sri Lanka. We said earlier that Sri Lanka is a model, so
Yes.
therefore we have a going for zero. We are actually going for zero
From
in
31.
reality, yeah,
Yes.
from so many years. But what's the incidence right now?
There is a graphic somewhere that here as well. We are very good. The latest available figure is 31 per 100,000.
Oh wow! Okay. There we go.
If you look at that, and if you look at the top lines, sub-Saharan Africa, they're approaching thousands. And if you take South Asia, they are about 200. And then if you take the bottom line, the European countries, some of them are in the 20s and we are in the 30s. For the amount of money we invest in our healthcare, this is an amazing result. And I must say, it's not only health interventions, in the long term when we take it. We believe that, say, free education, which has been there for 60 years plus now, has played a big role in it. And then our healthcare is free. So these are expensive interventions on the part of our successive governments, but they've had a role in achieving this.
I think all the stakeholders need to do their own part in making this success.
Definitely.
And so far, how's the support been? Great.
It's
I'm
wonderful,
sure.
wonderful. I think I don't know whether you're talking about the show itself, but
Yeah.
the cause of protecting mothers has been a very, very important issue in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, that's why some of these investigations that we do for the mothers who are dying, they're very comprehensive. It's right from the field, and from the moment she walks into the hospital, the questions are asked, and people will be very surprised about the depth of some of these.
And your findings find that half of them can be prevented.
Yes, I think so.
The
I
deaths
think so.
that occur. So
Yes.
this center will be a big
Yes.
leap forward when it
Yes.
comes to doing that.
Yeah.
But how's the training? Now you mentioned that you have ad hoc training so far.
Yes.
How is that happening so far?
Our college, we go to we organize ad hoc training sessions. We call them safe motherhood programs, and some of us volunteer and we go to a place. I have a picture here of a training we've done that was in Vavonia, and then we would have